That's right. This is your boy, Scott Steiner, here to do this stupid ass show. As you can see, I've taken over this show because the big bad Booty Daddy is back. And you shut up. You don't talk about it. You don't talk to Scott Steiner like that. Now, the big bad Booty Daddies came back because of this little group of girls called Immortal. Now let's see, who's an Immortal? Who's an Immortal? It's that little piece of trailer park trash called AJ Styles. He wasn't so big and bad when big bad Booty Daddy Scott Steiner was around. Now he's nothing more than Ric Flair's bitch. And who else is an Immortal? Oh yeah, that old wrinkled piece of crap, Ric Flair. Yeah, Rick, you're trying to reinvent yourself. Why don't you go and try to pull off a gimmick that wasn't stolen? That's right, you old wrinkled piece of shit. You stole that gimmick from the real, true, original Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers. God rest his soul. And what about Beer Money, the so-called greatest tag team in professional wrestling? Yeah, they wish they were the greatest. That must be all that beer they've been drinking. You boys ain't got nothing on the Steiner Brothers. You ain't fought us, so you ain't the best. So I shut up before I stick a lead pipe up your asses and make you spit out all that beer you've been drinking. And who else? Jeff Jarrett? Yeah, Jeff Jarrett, so-called MMA master. The only MMA master is the mixed master of ass. And that's me, Scott Steiner, the real dirty freaker, plural pleaser, all that with the biggest arms in the world. And what about Abyss? Yeah, I know you're in that group too, you big fat retard. Who gives a crap what you do? Or that Janice? Janice ain't shit. I'll make her my freak of the week too. And Karen Angle, you ain't nothing either. I already had you back when we was in our mafia days, and you weren't even all that good. I had freaks off the street that were better at doing whatever it is you did to Jeff Jarrett. But apparently his stroke don't measure up. And let's get to the two biggest pieces of bullshit. Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan. Hulk, I know why your wife let you. She left you for this genetic freak right here. That's right. And that's why you can't get any with that old busted up hip of yours. Why don't you send Brooke over to my hotel room and I'll show her what a real Hulkamania, what a real 24-inch python looks like. That's right. So big bad Booty Daddy is back in TNA. You know what that means? Immortal, you had a 30% chance of running over TNA. Then you had a 10% chance of getting over on everybody. But now that I'm back, there's a 60% chance that you're gonna get your asses whooped. And what's that add up? That's 100% of these biggest arms in the world kicking your ass all the way home to the capital of Freakzilla. That's right, I know what I'm saying, and I know what I'm talking about. You shut up. I don't care if you're bobbing your head. You're not the world's largest athlete. Me, it ain't Mark Henry. It's the big bad Booty Daddy, the freak, the genetic monster, the freak pleaser. That's right, me, Scott Steiner. That's right, Big Papa Pump has got you hooked up. Holla if you can hear me. Now where's my freaks at? Where are my freaks at right now?
Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, my God. Joe, you all right? Joe, you all right, buddy? Joe. Oh, my God. That's the last time I invite Scott Steiner home to have cookies with you. That guy is crazy. Anyway, this is Shin Tiger Curl, that dude in the straw hat, and Joe. You all right, Joe? He's still shaking up. Well, I might as well get to this review. I don't know what Scott Steiner said, but I hope to get through this review. I apologize for anything that Scott might have said or that you can understand anyway. Well, anyway, it's Thursday night, so I'm going to attempt to do a TNA Impact review. If anyone out there has something to drink, I drink it now. Like some real strong liquor or something. So, let's get down to it. The show opens with Angle. I'm looking at my notes here. The show opens with Angle coming out and pretty much calling out Jeff Jarrett, saying that he just wants to have a good old-fashioned fight with him. Doesn't matter who gets involved. So he asks the crowd if he just wants to beat the living shit out of him. So the crowd is behind it. And then here comes Immortal, getting in his business. Bischoff mocks him, saying that he can't have a match with Jarrett now, and all this kind of crap. But he can, if he wants a beat down, so be it. So he sends Immortal down. Immortal beats the living shit out of him, and then Crimson comes out to help him, armed with a baseball bat. Then Flair, being Ric Flair, he takes his jacket off. And if you're a fan of Spoonie, you know when Ric Flair takes his jacket off, shit gets real. So he decides that if Angle wants to fight so bad, he'll reinstate him. So tonight it would be Immortal, pretty much everyone in Immortal, sans the Hardys, versus Crimson and Kurt Angle. Now the only thing that saved this angle for me was Ric Flair, of course. I'm not saying Kurt Angle pulled a bad promo, but I'm saying when Ric Flair's on, might as well not try to do a promo, because he's just too crazy. Anyway, go to commercial break. After our first matchup is a Knockouts Tag Elimination match between Sarita, Madison Rayne and her 10,000 gimmicks, and Tara versus Mickie James and the Beautiful People, consisting of Velvet Sky and Angelina Love. This match was so-so. I mean, I know Sarita is an amazing athlete, but this match, it didn't really help her any. It was botchy in spots. There was some clear botches, and sometimes it seemed like the women didn't know what they were doing. But it was so-so. The win comes when Angelina Love eliminates Tara and Sarita, who were the last members of their team. And apparently during this match, I kind of switched off between things, and apparently Winter came down and attacked Velvet Sky, and at this point I really don't care. It's just too much Beautiful People for me. I'm not saying they're not hot, it's just not my thing. So anyway, cut to a backstage promo where Matt Hardy is threatening to take out Anderson, who I still can't take Matt Hardy seriously with that Predator hairdo. And he says, "I'm gonna have ice." Well, wait a minute. I gotta tell you this. One of my friends on the CBR Wrestling Forum was watching the show, and he did a paraphrase. He paraphrased Matt Hardy's little promo that he did, and he said, oh, "Hold on, let me pull it up. If it will load." Hold on. Alright, here we go. Okay. Okay, here he is. He paraphrased him and he said, I quote, "I'm going to give my brother the greatest gift a brother can give, and I'm going to do it with ice water running in my veins, evil in my heart, and 3/4 pounders in my belly." That was pretty cool. The next match was a X Division tournament match. They're having a tournament to decide who will be the #1 contender for Kaz's title. First match will be one half of Generation Me, Max Buck, Amazing Red, and one half of the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin. Now, as everyone knows, Alex Shelley is out with an injury. He broke his collarbone, I believe, so you won't be seeing any of that brilliant tag team action by the Motor City Machine Guns. So he'll have to be doing a solo thing. And Kaz actually is on commentary, and he's actually pretty funny. When Chris Sabin had a little promo before the match saying that that it is his destiny will be knocking at his door when he regains the the X Division title, Kaz retorts and says, "I don't know who this Destiny chick is, but Velvet Sky is gonna be pissed," hinting that Velvet Sky and Chris Sabin are dating. Well, anyway, the match itself was awesome. This is what TNA needs to do: focus back on the X Division, because the X Division was the bread and butter of TNA, and they really need to get back to that. It was an amazing matchup. All three men put in hell of a great performances, but in the end, Max Buck moves on with a little help from his brother outside the ring. So Max Buck moves on, and apparently his brother is in the tournament as well. So who knows? We could see a Young Bucks going at it. There's a backstage segment with Karen Angle talking to her husband. Apparently, before there was a backstage segment with Kurt, where Kurt is calling someone and says that he needs to be here. Who could Kurt be calling? Karen says that she's scared and she's nervous because she knows Kurt and she knows what he's capable of. Jeff is like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Rub my back." Let's see. Okay, moving on. Here, out comes Jeff Hardy wearing a hoodie and looking once again like the Joker's crack-addled brother Thomas. He comes in the ring and he basically bitches. I mean, I've heard some heel promos where they whine and complain about losing something or losing a match, or losing a title, but they can actually pull it off with decent amounts of believability. Jeff cannot. He was trying too hard. The way he was grunting, sounded like he was taking a shit, which I think he was doing. It just didn't seem believable. Like, "You people need to shut up. It's mine." Just grating. It's like he was trying to be a heel instead of being a heel. But then again, this is Jeff Hardy. Next up, Mr. Anderson comes out and he puts on a great promo, pretty much ripping Jeff to pieces to the point where I think Jeff looked like he was gonna cry. He had tears in his eye. Like, so much for the Antichrist of professional wrestling. And just so you know, there's only one real Antichrist of professional wrestling, and it's Kevin Steen. He's a sick fuck. Alright, moving on. Let's see. There's a segment where Velvet Sky and Winter get into it, but I changed the channel because I just wasn't interested. Sorry, ladies, but it's just not interesting. Okay, moving on. Like I said, I'm trying to get through this. TNA's not making it easy for me. Except for that X Division match. It's not been going a good show right now, so. Okay, alright, the Pope comes out, cuts a standard heel promo. I mean, he does cut good promos. Still in this feud with Samoa Joe, and he pretty much makes it a point to say that he hates Joe. Gee, I wonder where you got that idea. I wonder where we got that idea from, Pope. I mean, Joe and Pope are really wasted on feuding with each other, especially like this. Oh, and a funny segment happens after this. Flair is in the back pumping up Immortal. And then I look and I see Eric Young is in the back. And he's just standing there with his title belt, just agreeing with him. And as Immortal moves out, it's just him and Ric Flair left. And Ric Flair's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" I'm like, "I'm the champ. I'm one of you guys." "No, you're not. We threw that shit in the trash. You get out." And Eric just, well, I like that segment. It was pretty funny. It brought up a smile to my face. It's nice to see. They actually play well off of each other, with Flair being, well, Flair, and Eric Young being a little crazy little pissant that he is, and I love him for it. But still, I don't like the way they've been treating the old TNA belt. It deserves a bit more respect. Let's see. Moving on. And I think it's they have a small interview with Dixie Carter, who says that next week at February 3rd, the courts will finally give a ruling to her court case between herself and Hogan and Bischoff. Hogan says Bischoff says that Dixie's been drinking to her too late for so long she doesn't know the difference between 18-year-old scotch and soda. I don't even know what the hell that means. I don't even know what you're so proud of. You stole her company. They have it on tape. And he said, once again assures that there is no they. We are they is us. Deal with it. And let's see. Next up is time for Matt Hart. It's time for Mr. Anderson versus Matt Hardy version double cheese with bacon. And it was an alright match. You can tell that Anderson had to tone his level down because Hardy just isn't what he used to be. And if people out there don't believe that Matt Hardy's out of shape, what's all that extra skin flapping around? That ain't muscle. So it ends with Anderson picking up a victory with the schoolboy. As he leaves, he gets jumped by Jeff Hardy, and he comes out, and the two Meth and Fat Hardy try to beat him down, and then RVD comes in, kicks the crap out of him, and they scatter like roaches. So there's that. And finally, the final match. Kurt Angle and Crimson versus the better part of Immortal, and this is the first match. This is the first actual match we have of Crimson. I mean, the only other ring work we've seen of him was that shitty MMA match he had with Jeff Jarrett. And I will say, from what little I saw of him in the ring, Crimson is damn impressive. He despite being so big, he is quick. I'd almost say X Division quick. He might actually surpass Matt Morgan as the quickest big man in TNA, if not all of professional wrestling. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. The match pretty much is that both Angle and Crimson pretty much have the match well in hand until ref bump. The ref takes a last call super kick to the face, and he's out. So Immortal then just dog piles on him and beats the crap out of him. And then Jeff Jarrett, who didn't come out with the rest of Immortal, came out hand in hand with Karen Angle, that screeching harpy. He gets in the ring, they beat up Kurt. He goes to pin him after he's doing the stroke on him. Then another referee, that troubled referee that had problems earlier, comes out, counts 1, 2, 3, they win, and then they continue to beat down on him. Then Matt Morgan hits the ring. And people assume, okay, all right, this is Matt Morgan must have been the one he called earlier. Matt tries to fight back, but he gets dogpiled, and it looks like just another Immortal beatdown. The lights go off, the siren hits, and out from the darkness comes the big bad booty daddy himself, Scott Steiner. That's right, and he was swinging his pipe, and I'm not talking about the one between his legs. All right. So it looks like, so next week, February 3rd, They Part 2 comes to its epic conclusion. Now, I've read the spoilers, so I kind of have an idea of who they are, but if you read between the promos and the fact that Scott Steiner's back, you know who they are. So, we'll just see how it turns out. So, that was Impact. Overall thoughts, save for the X Division match and the return of Scott Steiner, this was a pretty skippable Impact. It was just very boring and predictable as always. It's like TNA has hit a quagmire of sorts. It's like they're comfortable being subpar now, and I know they can be better than that. They have the talent pool. And someone else mentioned this to me. It would be better if TNA actually pulled a straight-up revolution like they did in New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you don't follow wrestling outside of the U.S., there's apparently some really uber-looking heel group. I don't know their names. I don't know anyone in them, but they look awesome. So I give that a shot. So anyway, that was Impact, and like I said, it was skippable. It's safe for the X Division match and Scott Steiner's return. So I'm gonna go try to fix the damage that Scott Steiner did. Apparently, he put my father in the Steiner recliner, and he tried to screw my mom, and well, I just have to take care of that shit. So this is Shin Tiger Curl, that dude in the straw hat, and Joe. Still okay, Joe? He wants to be Scott Steiner's ass. You never know, you might see that. So until then, see you later, and wrestle on.